just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be brownie day, 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 brownie, brownie day, 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 brownie day. Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Football Fix. I am Richard from the DipsyDudes, and what a god-awful week that was. I mean, my word, the Herbie rule, impossible to achieve it seems. But we continue down the road to the championships as we are 8 games away from Judgment Day. So before we start planning out how the hell we're going to recover after that shambles of a game week, let's study it first and have a look at the Game Week 29 Dream Team. And doesn't that just say it all? Aston Villa are dominating the show, especially up top with Benteke once again beating his season's best for a game week and once again being the highest scoring attacker in the game with a brace and max bonus points. Alongside him was his teammate Gabby Haggy, who also got a brace and deuce bonus points. In the midfield, the random Man United Dream Team player wheel continued to spin, and this week landed on a double as Michael Carrick was the big sexy point scorer with a 14-point full house performance. Much like the Villa front two, the only thing separating Carrick and teammate Fellaini was bonus points awarded after the Belgian grabbed 13 points after a goal, assist and clean sheet. Elsewhere in the midfield, Aaron Ramsey matched Carrick's big sexy points, recapturing his form from last season with his first double digits week since game week 1. James McCarthy got his first Everton double digits week with a goal and clean sheet man of the match display, while alongside him was the player everyone had on their bench. It was all about that boy, about that boy, about that boy. No trouble with 11 points. In defence, it was all about the Niners as Skirtle and Huth got theirs from clean sheet man of the match displays. Another Villa man in Kieran Clark got his 9 from a clean sheet and an assist. And finally, Leicester's 87-year-old goalkeeper Mark Schwarzer got his 9 from a clean sheet, saves and deuce bonus points. Villa attackers, Leicester defenders and Michael Carrick as the top point scorer. That's why last week was a bloody shambles. But let's move on to hopefully better things as we take a look at the Game Week 30 players for your consideration. Let's start with a team that had a god-awful week 29, Spurs. But despite looking bang average against Man United, the fixtures they have coming up over the next few weeks are quite tantalising. This week they find themselves home to Leicester, followed by games against Burnley, Villa and Newcastle. On paper, those are favourable fixtures, which means it's gotta be Kane as captain for the next few weeks. The problems with Spurs is, who else do you go for? Eriksen is selected by over a quarter of managers, but has managed only 1 assist in his last 6 games. Townsend hasn't played a full 90 minutes all season, despite grabbing a goal and an assist in the last 3 games. Danny Rhodes had a good couple of weeks in defence and followed it up with 2 0-point weeks, and the team haven't had a clean sheet since January. Kane is a lock for those games, simple as, but honestly it's going to be trial and error over the next couple of weeks because the opportunities for points are there, but no one's walking into it in any kind of form. I would say if you've got Eriksen, hold on to him. Same as Rose, because he's under 5 million, so it's low money risk. After that, your guess is as good as mine. Manchester City. What can you say about that performance against Burnley? I mean, but surely at home against West Brom, who can only really do it at the Hawthorns, Man City have got to be looking for some big points. But I tell you what, after the last couple of games, it's no guarantee. And nowhere is that more clearer than with Sergio Aguero. He hasn't found the net in his last 3 games, much to the chagrin of anyone who's had him as their captain. And in the last 2 games, they have played 2 of the bottom 3 sides. So there should be no excuses for Sergio Aguero to not find the net in those games. And now, especially seeing it as how much he costs in your overall budget, he should be getting you points. But the problem is, he's not. And now Diego Costa has got back in the goals as he got his first goal in 3 last weekend. Now, after this, Man City are away to Crystal Palace, then it's the Manchester derby at Old Trafford. So they've got 2 game weeks where points should be coming in a big way. So I would say for now, stick with your Man City players, but leave an option to drop them soon. Now, if you're looking for a team to lump on in the coming weeks, look no further than Chelsea. The fixtures they have coming up are very favourable indeed. Away to Hull this weekend, followed by games against Stoke and QPR. After that, they do have Man United and Arsenal, but that is somewhat balanced out by the fact that they've got that double game week and that game against Leicester coming up. Now, one player who started off the season really well for Chelsea but has dropped off as of late is one Cesc Fabregas. The assist king hasn't had a hand in a goal since game week 22 and hasn't scored in the league since Boxing Day. His value has dropped by 0.4 million since then. If you haven't already, drop Cesc and invest elsewhere in the Chelsea team. Get on the defence, definitely. If you haven't already got anyone in the defence, get Chelsea defenders. If you can find the money, look at Hazard. Or if you haven't got him up top already, look at Costa. But definitely, Fabregas has got to get out of there now. West Ham have been awful as of late, and last week on our Dear Richard segment, our contributor Neil Palmer said to gauge how things go against Arsenal. Not bloody well would be my assessment, but if Big Sam could pick a fixture to have after that 3-0 loss, it would be home to Sunderland. Gus Poyet's gone and Dick Advocaat is in charge, but by God, Sunderland look like a bunch of jabronis. Sunderland have never really got it right. They use plasters to try and fix gaping wounds, and it has left them looking very, very vulnerable. Who's going to step up for them? No one, that's who. This is West Ham's big chance for the taking, and with games coming up against the likes of Leicester and Stoke, this is the last chance for West Ham players to impress. Look at Sacco to get up top and get on the goal scoring sheet, and also look at Adrian to keep a clean sheet. The reason I said that this was the last week that West Ham could impress is because they are one of 4 teams in the middle of the league that could be in danger of mentally going off on holiday. Now they are West Ham, along with Stoke, Swansea and Newcastle. None of the teams are in any cup competitions, none of them are likely to get into the relegation battle, and none of them are likely to get into a European place. So I would be very wary of these teams going forward. Are we already seeing that form slipping from West Ham, especially in the last couple of games? After tough losses against Liverpool, West Brom and Everton respectively last week, are the Swans, Potters and Toon Army going to react positively or negatively? Will they fight, or will they say, ah well, we're safe, let's get the old holiday brochures out, see where we can book? Now I hope that Swansea do keep going and do stay mentally sharp, because they have some good fixtures coming forward, but this is another danger in and of itself. When these teams, these middle 4 teams, go up against sides who are fighting for their lives, scrapping for their careers, clawing to survive, how will they react? These are dangerous fixtures. Dangerous fixtures if these middle teams aren't ready up here, because those lower teams will take them to the cleaners. Okay, we've just had some late news coming in. There has been a change to game week 31. Aston Villa and QPR have a double game week in game week 31, and this changes a lot of things, specifically whether to go for those Aston Villa players. Now, as well as Aston Villa have played in the last two games, the goals have started coming in. They've got Swansea this weekend, then it was followed by Manchester United in 31, and then away to Spurs in 32. So there were difficult games coming up for them. However, with this double game week in game week 31, the home game against Swansea, difficult away game at Man United, and then home to QPR, suddenly Aston Villa for the next 2 weeks are a very viable option, especially in attack. And there's only one man I'm going to look at. I'm a big fan of him, and I was hoping his form would come back. That's Christian Benteke. Now is the time to dabble on Benteke. If you've got Charlie Austin as well, stick with him. It might be worth going for an attacking three of Kane, Austin, Benteke. If you put your money in the midfield, that could be an option for you. But I think it's a flip of the coin now. Do you go Austin or Benteke for the next 2 weeks? Because QPR this week are home to Everton, and then they've got that double game week where they will go away to QPR and away to West Brom. Now, with West Brom's really good defensive streak at the Hawthorns at the moment, I'd be wary about goals there. My bet would be, rather than lumping on QPR, would be to lump on Aston Villa. But if you could dabble on them both, all the better. But for me, Christian Benteke, get on him now. The DipsyDudes Divisional Championship. Not a lot of change here, with game week 29 providing lean scores. Latchford again managed to actually extend their lead by 15 points after another strong showing from Giroud and a Dawson clean sheet. Our top scoring team in the league could be found all the way back in 155th place as Club Brazil somehow managed a 63-point game week thanks to Ramsey being captain and a goal from Rooney and 2 clean sheets, though I got a feeling that was down to luck rather than skill. Right, that's about it for this game week. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember, if you like what you see, click like, leave us a comment, or hit subscribe to ensure that you get the latest DipsyDudes episodes as soon as they are released. We have a social media presence on Twitter and Facebook, as well as a discussion group at fiso.co.uk, and an email address if you want to get in touch with us regarding anything, even if you want to become a contributor on our Dear Richard segment. Just get in touch. All links in the description. But until then, good luck to all you managers out there for game week 30. It's gotta be better than what we had last week, right? Come on.